Why is the visa fee so expensive? Why should people from the diaspora even be subjected to these visa requirements when visiting the continent of Africa? If you're saying welcome home, then why does it feel like the total opposite? Why should we have to feel like an immigrant in a country we were stolen from? On today's episode of Explosive Topics, we are addressing these questions and so much more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Explosive Topics. Today we are going to be addressing visa requirements when traveling into Ghana specifically. I know there are some countries who have gotten on board with doing away with the visa, and kudos to them, Kenya being one of those countries. Big congratulations that they have taken this initiative to truly welcome people from the diaspora into the country without having to deal with these different requirements that should not even be imposed upon us to begin with. So I initially was going a completely different route this week for Explosive Topics. My topic of conversation was completely different, and I decided to take a different direction when an incident happened last night concerning one of my friends who was traveling back from the US to Ghana. She got to the airport and it was a complete nightmare for her. Now, initially she had a single entry visa that was not scheduled to expire until June the 3rd. Of course, we have a lot of time in between that before it expires. She got to the airport, she's thinking everything is all good, and then they stop her in her tracks to inform her that the single entry visa that she has is no longer valid because she left the country to go to the US, and it can only be used to come into Ghana on a single entry. They then proceeded to charge her $200 US for a visa upon arrival. Needless to say, after multiple attempts on her end, as well as my end, as well as another one of our sisters, and to no resolve, she ended up ultimately having to pay that $200 fee for a visa upon arrival, which I think is totally unfair, and is why I have decided to do this video today, because this has to be addressed, this has to be stopped, this has to be changed, and something has to be done differently. If Ghana is saying welcome home and taking the initiative to opening its borders to the diaspora, to return home, find your roots, connect with yourself, figure out who you are as an individual, and rid yourself of so many issues that we have had to deal with as a result of being subjected to the racism in America. So a lot of us are taking Ghana up on this offer and deciding to come to Ghana, uproot our lives from America, and resettle here. And it seems like it has been a burden in doing so. I know a lot of people, and not just myself, but a lot of people are fed up and frustrated with a lot of things that Ghana has been doing. They are openly saying, come home, we welcome you, come on. And then when we get here, we are ostracized. We are often taken advantage of when it comes to pricing and different things of that nature. We're overcharged, right? Because when we're coming, right, we're all the same complexion. We're coming to an African country where there's other African people, right? That's why they call us African Americans, right? In America, they don't refer to us as American, the end. They don't refer to us as Caucasian or Europeans. They refer to us as Negroes, Blacks, or African Americans. With that being said, that is a clear indication of where we come from. So why would we decide that we want to return to our own home that we have been taken from? We find ourselves in these unfortunate situations where we're leaving a place of having to fight all of our lives, and then we're coming into a place where we still have to fight for ourselves. as black people come into a black country, if I could just put it like that so frankly, we have to then come here and still continue to fight. It's injustice. It's like, I almost feel like the African American person has no place anywhere on this earth, right? Because we have no place in America. They're busy trying to discriminate, murder us, whatever it is they can do to annihilate who we are as a people. And then we come to our own country and we still have to deal with them saying, nope, you don't belong. Nope, you have to pay a higher cost because you're a foreigner. Nope, 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 nope. We've been hearing no all our lives. And for me, it's like, when does that end? We can't even feel safe. We can't even feel secure enough to come to our country to even begin that healing process, that journey of self-discovery, because every time we turn around, it's segregative measures set in place to, again, continue to separate us from who we are. So I want to speak about specifically, because this conversation can go in so many different directions, and I don't want to jump ahead and start just talking about a whole bunch of different things, because trust and believe, we can begin to peel this layer of onion in so many different ways. So I today want to specifically speak about visas coming to the African continent. Why are they even required? That is my number one question. I wish somebody please would answer this question for me. And correct me if I'm wrong. I can understand if it were people of a different ethnic group, like a Chinese person or an Indian person or someone of a Caucasian background. It would make sense that they would say, hold up, in order to get into our country, you have to go through the process of obtaining a visa. It only makes sense. But when you look at who we are, right, it doesn't matter that we was born in America. We didn't ask to be born in America. We didn't get on a ship and march our way over there and decide that we was going to give birth to many generations in that place. None of that was an option for us. It was forced upon us. So with something being forced upon us, I don't see how it's right that they're bestowing upon us the process of a visa. I feel like if you're brown skinned, I don't care if you come from Europe, if you come from Japan, if you come from India, if you come from America, if you are black, okay, if you bear this melanin in your skin, it's automatic that where else are you going to come from but the continent of Africa? Because this is where we originated from. So why is it that we are subjected to these demands of a visa? It should not be. We should be able to freely come and go, not into just Ghana, but any other country on this continent that we so choose, and we should be able to do it freely. We should be able to do it without having demands of a visa. Can you imagine? It's 10 o'clock p.m. here in Ghana. You've had a long flight. It takes a good 10 plus hours to get here. You're tired. You're ready to unwind, ready to get you to your destination. You're ready to relax. You're ready to just breathe. Only to arrive here and be stopped. And then you have to go through this whole process. It's so unfair. It's so unfortunate, and it's really discouraging a lot of people from, I know I can speak of specifically Ghana, because I feel like a lot of people are really getting fed up with Ghana. It's getting fed up with the way that they're being treated when they come here. When you come to the country for the first time, it doesn't, all of these different situations that are happening don't really affect you or impact you because you're not aware of it. But the moment that you decide, okay, you know what? I think I actually want to relocate and make this my home. And you decide to uproot your life and come and reestablish yourself. It is then in that moment that you start to see all of this craziness that begins to happen. Like, such as if you go to let's take a pick. Let's say Cocoon National Park, right? If you go to Cocoon National Park, which is a park, which includes 7 canopies that you can walk around the forest, really beautiful place, different activities they have that you can do there outside of that as well. And when you go, they have a rate sheet, guys, right? So when you look on this rate sheet, it has a rate for citizens, and then it has a separate rate sheet for foreigners. So, and this is another prime example that I'm speaking of when it comes to us being segregated and set apart from being able to get acclimated with residing here, right? Is that you find this price disparity, and you look up and you realize, you know, what am I? Like, I'm black, I'm here, you know, even if I was born in America, I'm still here. This is still my country. I still belong here. I have every right to be here, just like any other Ghanaian citizen, Kenyan citizen, Ethiopian citizen, on and on and on, has the right to be in these various places. We have a right to be in this country. So how can you create this price list and charge us some more as foreigners? Again, it would make sense to me if I was of European descent, if I was of Chinese descent, if I was of German descent. This would make sense that they would say, okay, you're a foreigner, so you have to pay more. But me, with the skin that I possess, you're telling me that I am a foreigner, that I'm subjected to this price increase because of that? Even when you go to New York City, any of these big travel destination areas, there's one fee for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you pink, yellow, purple, Chinese, Japanese, Christian, Ethiopian, Hebrew, Israel. It does not matter. One fee across the board for these areas, these high tourist areas. You know that if you're going to New York City, you're going to 42nd Street, you know it's going to be crazy expensive. Doesn't matter what color skin you are, where you come from on the planet of Earth. Doesn't matter if you was born and raised in the state of New York or not. If you decide that you want to go to 42nd Street for the day and hang out, you are subjected to these crazy prices because it's a tourist area and it's one price for everybody traveling into that area. So if Ghana is going to implement this price increase, cool, but you should do it so that it's fair across the board. You don't separate and say, oh, okay, you're Ghanaian, so you're gonna pay 10 cedis. Okay, and you're African American, where were you born? It sounds like you was born in the UK. Okay, that means that we're gonna need you to pay 30 CDs. To me, this is crazy, and I feel like nobody is speaking out on this topic. I feel like a lot of people come, they witness these different things. Instead of them addressing it or trying to find a solution of some sort, they just go. They run. They don't want to be bothered. They don't have time. Especially when you have a senior citizen, an elderly person. They don't have time. They're at their retirement, phase of life. They just want to relax. They don't want to be all caught up and in the middle of arguing over this and fighting over that. And they just want to enjoy the life that they have left after slaving in America for so many years. When you reach the age of retirement, you don't come to nobody's country to fight and go back and forth about prices and stuff like that. You just want to enjoy the rest of your life. And you get here and you find all of these challenges, and it's like, you know what? Instead of me having to stay here and deal with this, I am out. See y'all later. Y'all get it together. I'm going to go find somewhere else. I'll go to Mexico or wherever else it is that is warm, welcoming, and I feel safe that I can go and settle. But for them to stay and fight for these different injustices that's happening, they're not going to do it. And it's not fair to them. They should not have to do it. We have been fighting in America our whole entire lives. I don't know if anybody understands or gets what that feels like. They don't get what that feels. They don't get why we come here sometimes and we're so mad and so frustrated and so fed up and we're so argumentative because we've had to be like this our whole life. And it's like, if we can't even come to a place that in our heart we're considering home, Doesn't matter that we were born in America. What matters is that we're in touch with our spirit. What matters is that we're on this journey of finding ourselves. What matters is that we're on the search for truth. What matters is that we're just trying to belong. And the one place that we feel like we can belong, we look up. And we realize we don't even belong there either. I'm Melody. You've tuned into Just Vlog, and this is another segment of Explosive Topics. If you have not done so already, please go ahead, consider joining the family, hit that subscribe button. Also, please share this video. Keep coming back, because every week it is going to be an unraveling of a multitude of topics. Make sure you comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. Guys, see you on the next episode.